In this video, we're going to learn how to download Amazon Web Services Mobile SDK and how to configure our Xcode project. And to download Amazon Web Services Mobile SDK, we will need to go to a web page that has address aws.amazon.com/mobile SDK, mobile/SDK. And that will open as a page with different links on how we can get the iOS SDK. For example, on the right side, if we click on one of this, it will download a zip archive with the SDK, but we will not use it. We will scroll down a little bit, and here we have Getting Started Guide, and under Getting Started Guide, Developer's Guide, we will click on iOS. And this page contains lots of useful information that we can make use of, and we will start with the one that's on the left side. It's called Set Up the SDK for iOS. I'll click on that link, and now I'm on the Set Up SDK for iOS page that contains information on how to install SDK in different ways. And the one that we're going to use is called Cocoa Pods. If I scroll down a little bit to Cocoa Pods section here, the first step for us is to install Cocoa Pods if we do not have them. I do have Cocoa Pods and I have already installed them, but just for this example, I'll run this again. And in my case, I needed to use sudo with the gem install. So I'll copy the first line, and then I'll open terminal window and I'll paste sudo gem install. That will ask me to enter the password, and I will enter password for my computer, and I get a successful response, successfully installed Cocoa Pods. So I will switch back to instruction, and the next step is to call pod setup. So I will copy this and go back to my terminal window and paste pod setup. Okay, we have Cocoa Pods successfully set up, and I will scroll down to the next step, and the next step for us is to create a new file with the name pod file and with without any file extension, and then paste the content of this file there. You can use any text editor to create that file, but in my case, I will use V, and you will need to create this file in the project directory. So you will need to cd to the project, like where the Xcode project file is. In my case, it is here. And in the projects directory, we will create a new file called pod file. So I'll use V, and then I will paste file name. Note, I don't provide any file extension. Hit enter, and I'll create a new file which is empty. I'll come here, I'll copy all of this, go back to my editor, and then I'll let me do O. I did type O on my keyboard, and then I paste the content of this file. And I'll need to make a couple of changes here. The first change is I'll need to edit the platform, which is iOS 9 in my case. And then I'll need to change the target. So it says your target, but if I go to my Xcode project, my project is called Code Examples, and the target is called Code Examples as well. So I'll go back to terminal window, and I'll delete this and type Code Examples. Okay, and this is it. These are the only changes that we need to make. So now I will hit Escape button on my keyboard, and then hold Shift, type colon, and then QW, like this, and hit enter. WQ, and hit enter. Okay, so now the file is saved, and if I do ls, I see pod file, and if I check it again, v pod file, it's here. all the changes have been saved. So I'll hit escape again and then WQ and exit the file. Okay, and the next command that we'll need to run is called pod install. So I'll copy this and then go back to my terminal and type pod install. And that will go and install and download all the dependencies needed for Amazon Web Services iOS SDK. Okay, once this is done, it says pod installation complete. There are 17 dependencies from the default file and 18 total pods installed. Okay, so now when this is done, you will need to start your project by clicking on Code Examples workspace rather than Xcode project. And this is what the fourth step says. Open App Xcode workspace. And this is what number 4 says. Open App the XC workspace with Xcode and start using SDK. Okay, so this is it, and Amazon Web Services SDK for iOS platform has been installed, and we can continue and start using, start writing code to upload image to S3 bucket.